One of the things that I'm the most excited about Doom Eternal is the lore behind everything, and ripping and tearing some demon flesh, of course. I am a huge lore nerd, and especially with games like Doom Eternal, Dark Souls, God of War, Sekiro, etc, etc. Just like Doom 2016, Doom Eternal is going to have its own huge nerd encyclopedia for us to enjoy. And talking about that, I know that everyone has opinions, but if you think that Doom Eternal is a bad Doom game because of third-person cutscenes and a shift to have more narrative and a story to tell, then you're not a true Doomer or even a gamer. Look, it's okay if you do not like it, but the game doesn't force you to watch any of the codex entries and the cutscenes, so stop acting like if it's the other way around, brother. Doom has always been about feeling powerful by killing demons from hell, and adding a story on why you are so badass makes it even more epic and metal in my opinion. Anyways, a lot of lore of the codex entries in Doom Eternal has been revealed, so we are going to talk about that in today's video. And let me tell you, the direction Eternal is taking with its story is amazing in my opinion. I cannot wait to see the whole thing with my own eyes. If you enjoy the videos I produce, then please consider subscribing. Our goal of hitting 100k subscribers is closer every day. Let's get this video to 5,000 likes. Thanks for watching. So this new lore obviously reveals new information that was never revealed before to the public, so if you do not want to get spoiled, just mute the video. Huge shout out to thhe for compiling all the codex entries shown in the new gameplays into a single document. That made everything way easier, so huge thanks to thhe for that. You're awesome. The link for the document will be down below for you to check it out too. Let's begin with the codex entry of King Novik, of course. King Novik ruled over Sentinel Prime for many years as its warrior patriarch, ordained protector of the sovereign Sentinel worlds. The Sentinel people, defined by a legacy of war, deem only those of warrior caste befit to rule, and in times of battle it is expected that the king lead from the battlefield rather than from the safety of the throne. As it is written in Sentinel law, a king unfit for battle is likewise unfit to rule. That's so badass. So, this lets us know why even the Doomslayer himself bowed to King Novik. Novik is a warrior, one of the highest order, and the Doomslayer bowed in respect to King Novik, who knew that the Bane of Hell itself was a well-mannered guy. Anyways, I think this adds more weight to the Knight Sentinels, a legion defined by war exclusively, and well, if the Doomslayer was indeed a king in the past, then it goes without saying why he became a king. His power alone took him to the throne basically. Now it makes more sense why the Marauder called the Doomslayer a usurper. That's pretty interesting. And talking about people from Sentinel Prime, let's continue with the Betrayer. After years of prolonged war against a demonic threat invading their world, Argentinor launched an offensive strike across dimensions, sending their greatest warriors into the heart of hell itself. Despite their training and their preparedness, their honor was undone by deceit. Betrayal at the highest levels of command left the Argentinor's bravest warriors cut off and scattered in the hellscape. This codex entry is unfinished, but this lets us know that Argentinor and Sentinel Prime were at war against Hell for years, and in an attempt to finally beat the forces of Hell for good, the Sentinels launched a final attack into the heart of Hell itself to finally put an end to the war. But, thanks to thhe, the Hell Priests, and the Betrayer being corrupted by Hell, the Legion of Knight Sentinels were trapped in the void for good. And the codex entry for the Soul Extractor, the source of the Makers, further expands on this. They claimed knowledge of the Maker's source of power in the demon realm, a vast foundry of souls where the innocent are put to the fire for the essence. In the foundry's destruction, victory is assured, they told us, and fools that we were, that I am. I believed their lies. On their word, we sent the Doomslayer and the Knight Sentinels to destroy the foundry, and the priests cast a gate for their egress. As the last veteran entered the demon's empire, our final hope of reclaiming our dominion, the closed the path and left them stranded. They were trapped, lost in the eternal void by the action of the traitors. How could I not see their intention? Am I blinded by grief for the loss of Taras Nabad, of my people? We have fled again, with barely a legion of night sentinels left to protect us. The are gone, returned to their mistress. May the Wraiths forgive my failure. So apparently the Hell Priests trapped the elite legion of Sentinels in Hell, leaving them stranded, and after that the Betrayal led the Graf to the elemental Wraiths, creating the well and the beginning of the destruction of Argent Dinar and the creation of the Icon of Sin as well. Now, one thing I found very interesting was the creation of the Night Sentinels and the origin of everything. This codex has a lot of information, so be prepared. The Book of Kings, the origin of the world and Sentinels. In the days before man first spoke, an immense shard of rock and metal was cast onto the world from the heavens. Thunder and cataclysm shook the land as the skies were turned asunder. The cosmic spear left a hole through our mortal lands, pole to pole, from the cold wastes of the umbral plains to the fetid swamps of Ironfang. The womb of the world opened and the elemental Wraiths, the firstborn, spilled forth. They took to the skies, fierce in their emancipation. In their exaltation they brought vitality to the land, and all that felt their breath were awakened from eternal slumber. Fierce beasts and an unforgiving biosphere rose in the passing of their shadow, as the wraith call echoed across Argent Dinar. First came the Ancestrals, feral creatures invigorated by the magic of the wraiths. They grew to enormous heights, mighty behemoths who waged war with each other for years untold. Their battles tore the land apart and destroyed all creation caught in their wake. The Wraith Call continued to spread across the land, and soon the Argenta emerged. Our souls stirred into form by the power of their breath. The beasts towered over the wall-blooded tribes and brought us to near extinction. In this moment, our true strength was revealed. The flow of energy was sudden, but the strongest of the Argenta grabbed it at the root and unleashed a reckoning upon the Ancestrals. Storms rose at their call, magics were conjured from the void, and the towering beasts were brought low. The fighting raged for time untold, but in the end our people triumphed. By the blessedness of the first ones, the time of man came to be. Forged in blood, iron, and magic, we claim dominion of creation. With the ancestral beasts driven back to their bleak valleys, we rose. We tiled the fertile land, forged steel, and built the towering cities. In the hallowed palace, we crowned King Ormero, the Father, whose wisdom and power brought an age of prosperity. We built the Cathedral of Reflection to worship the first ones and formed the Order of the Dig, whose priests pay tribute to the wraiths and appease their tempestuous hunger. Our sons and daughters plunged themselves into the depths of the Wraith Call, awakening a unity of magic and metal that would honor the gods and break our enemies for generations untold. Though our ways were righteous, we were not without strife. The song of the Wraith Call shattered lesser men, distorting their forms and driving them to madness. We were not lesser men. Amidst violent storms and great quakes, we beat back these wicked creatures and hardened our resolve. We rose above the fire, our bodies and souls tempered, and an unbreakable will was shaped in the forge of battle. What emerged was the heart of our legion, the Order of the Night Sentinels. In the time of grief, when King Etrex took the throne, a blessing came from the people of Argenta. White porcelain beings from a world above our own brought gifts to the Nur, observers to our great deeds, admirers of our convictions. They sought to make bond with our swords and bring lasting order to our world. With machine and enchantment of the makers, the Argenta brought our newfound clarity to the desperate realms of the Empyrean Void. We took flight with the support of the Unmaker. We discovered there was not one enemy, but many. Worlds and peoples unknown to the Argenta were unveiled, and we saw our own suffering reflected in their eyes. Now, this lets us know a lot of things. First, the raids appear to be different than the Makers. Because of the raids and their call, the Ancestrals rose and their battles shook all of creation, to the point that it created life and man itself. The Ancestrals may be the Titans as well. Thanks to man beating the Titans or the Ancestrals, the Makers, impressed by their conviction and power, bonded with the Night Sentinels. The These are an order of priests that speak with the raids directly, and oh my god, this is getting pretty deep. But this is not the end. Let's continue with the Hell Priests. thhe is one of the 3 Hell Priests, which are tasked with providing support during the invasion of Hell on Earth. Prefers to work on the surface of the planet, working in a dirty barge planted on the back of a demonic titan. Provides him a slightly positioned mobile observation post, monitoring campaigns against humanity. Vindictive and brutal, Nilox often keeps humans alive to use them in occult rituals. My goodness. But okay, what are the Hell Priests? The Hell Priests are powerful practitioners of arcane magics. The priests have warped their powers to suit their insidious purpose, harnessing the dark forces of hellish psychomancy to prepare Earth for the final blood ritual. With their preparations in place, the priests awaited the omen of the 6th seal, that which beckons the arrival of Hell's Legion, to open the gates and usher in Hell on Earth, as it was ordained by the Unmaker. By blood were the Hell Priests bound to the dark ritual which now consumed Earth, and so long as even one of them lives, the consumption of Earth would continue, allowing Hell unfettered rule of the mortal world. Only by destroying the priests can the blood ritual be stopped and the Earth saved. Interesting, now we know why the Doom Slayer is hunting down the Hell Priests with the Blade of Doom. And what is the Blade of Doom, you might be asking? The Blade of Doom is a modification of the Praetor suit installed on a forearm that is designed to increase strength. Slayer strikes during close combat. The blade is strong enough to cut demonic body and bones. Slayer breaks through the fence and attacks, against which conventional weapons are ineffective. So it's not an arm blade, it's named the Blade of Doom, just like the Fortress of Doom. Now you are telling me the helmet of the Doom Slayer is named the Helmet of Doom? I can't believe that actually. But anyways, now let's talk about how humanity has survived Hell on Earth. The Ark. Demons have consumed almost 60% of the Earth, and the speed of their expansion is getting bigger every day. Most of the world's population died in the first month of Infernal Invasion, catastrophic failures of almost all systems created by man. The reaction was military but could not effectively provide the flight of the civilian population. A few 100,000 are safe and evacuated into orbit. After the invasion, there are chances of survival, with these launches carrying frozen passengers. Military bases in communication with the allied nations have made efforts to regroup and centralize their areas of command, establishing fortified safe havens for survivors, stockpiling food, and scavenging for supplies. Only proprietary military use communications remain functional, enabling military entities under command of the allied nations to coordinate in humanitarian aid and defense operations. By 2151, the formation of the Ark has taken highest priority and is considered to be, in all practical terms, the last hope for humanity. Anyways guys, that's all the time I had for today's video. Honestly, that was a lot of information and lore for the Doom Eternal universe, to be honest. But anyways, thanks to all of my patrons that made this video possible, and if you want to follow me in any of my social accounts, all the links are going to be down below. Please follow me, I post pretty good memes, etc, etc. But anyways, I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend, and yes, I love you. Adios. Bye. Mwah.